Mask up, Percocet, Miley Percocet, chase a chick, never chase no 2 cups, toast up with the gang, from food stamps to a whole nother domain, out the bottom, yeah. I'm a living proof, so ain't compromising, $500,000 on the coupe, drug houses, looking like Peru, graduated, I was overdue, I'm on the pink money, I gotta move, ask about me, I'm gon' bust a move, yeah, y'all put red James, 33 chains, Ocean now, that's cruising Biscayne, big fun, top off, that's a liability, big fun, hit the gas, boosting my adrenaline, big fun, Percocet, Miley Percocet, big fun, Percocet, Miley Percocet, big fun, represent, gotta represent, chase a chick, never chase it, big fun, mask on, get mask on, big fun, mask on, mask up, big firm, Percocet, Miley Percocet, big firm, chase a chick, never chase it, don't take no.
Check it out. MC and my people call me Milk. When I'm busting up a party, I feel no guilt. Gizmo's cutting up for the suckers that's down with me. The one of us, that's how I feel. To be down, you must appeal to the 2. We're rated R, we're gifted, and we're going far down the road to the bank. While I'm here, I'd like to thank Mom and Dad, they knew the time. Gizmo scratching, Milk D's rhyming, Milk is chillin', Giz is chillin'. What more can I say? Top billin', that's what we get. Got it good, since you understood. Would you stop scheming and looking hard? I got a great big bodyguard, so step up if you wanna get hurt. Milk D's gonna pull this skirt. I get money I got. Stunts call me honey if they feel real hot. That's how it is, you can ask Giz. I stole your girl while you were in prison. Jail for MC assault. You was jealous, it's all your fault. Milk is chillin', Giz is chillin'. What more can I say? Top billin', that's what we get. Got it good, and since you understood, would you clap your hands? Your hands you clap. If your girl's out of place, it's your girl I slap. And
I'm your idol, the highest title, numero uno. I'm not a Puerto Rican, but I'm speaking so that you know. And understand I got the gift of speech and it's a blessing. So listen to the lesson I preach. I talk sense condensed into the form of a poem. Full of knowledge from my toes to the top of my dome. I'm kinda young, but my tongue speaks maturity. I'm not a child, I don't need nothing for security. I get paid when my record is played, to put it short. I got it made, got it made, got it made. I'm outspoken, my language is broken into a slang, but it's just a dialect that I select when I hang. I play it cool, the schooling is on, then I move out, just fooling with the girlies, yes, I'm busting it out. I'm special ed, and you can tell by the style that I use. I'm creatively superior, yo. I never lose, I never lost, cause I'm the boss and never will, cause I'm still the champion. Chief one, won't lose until I choose, which I won't, cause I don't retreat. I run you over like a truck and leave you dead in the street. You're inviting me a titan to a battle. Why? I don't need your respect, cause I got it made, got it made, got it made, got it made. I'm talented, yes, I'm gifted. Never boosted, never shoplifted. I got the cash, but money ain't nothing. Make $1 million every record that I cut, and my name is Special Ed, and I'm a super duper star. Every other month I get a brand new car. Got 20, that's plenty, and I still want more. Kinda find a Honda Scooter's got 74. I got the riches to fulfill my needs. Got land in the sand of the West Indies. Even got a little island of my very own. I got a frog, a dog with a slick old bone. An account to account the amount I spent. Got a treaty with Tahiti cause I own a percent. Got gear out wear the everyday boutiques from France to the USA. And I make all the money from the rhymes I invent, so it really doesn't matter how much I spent, because yo, I make fresh rhymes daily. You burn me? Really? Think, just blink and I've made 1,000,000 rhymes. Just imagine if you blink 1,000,000 times. Damn, I'd be paid. I got it made. I got it good.
She's so thin faced, and I just tell them cut me up and get down. They call us dirty cause we break all your rules down, and we just can't get act the fool. Is that alright? Girl, that's alright. They be like, ooh, let them eat cake, but we eat wings and throw them rolls on the ground. Don't forget to meet me now. Cut me off, don't cut me down. Yeah, I wanna be. Is it peculiar that she twerk in the mirror? And am I weird to dance alone late at night? And is it true we're all insane? And I just tell them no, we ain't, and get down. I heard this life is just a play with no rehearsal. I wonder will this be my final act tonight? And tell me what's the price of fame? Am I a sinner with my skirt on the ground? Am I a freak for dancing free? Am I a freak for don't cut me down? Cut me up, don't cut me down. Judge me now, yeah, I wanna be. Hey brother, can you save my soul from the devil? Say, is it weird to like the way she wear her tights? And is it rude to wear my shades? Am I a freak because I love watching Mary? Hey sister, am I good enough for your heaven? Say, will your God accept me in my black and white? Would he approve the way I'm made? Or should I be broken and get down? Am I a freak for dancing free? Am I a freak for getting down? Cut me up, don't cut me down. Got to carry on. Yeah, I wanna be. Even if it makes us uncomfortable, I love you. Even if it makes us uncomfortable, cut me up. I will love who I am. Straight to the break of dawn. Don't make me so far. I can't take it no more. Baby, we got the drum so tight, baby. Here comes the freedom song. Too strong, we move it on. It is no day. Don't do without the way. It's hard to know.
Mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to bring Father, we don't need to
escalate. See, one answer for love. You know we've got to find a way to make somebody pick it like with brutality. Talk to me, you can see what's going on. What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Oh, what's going on? Everybody thinks we're winning. Oh, but who they judge us? Think some of us pick it loud, pick it sound. Don't punish me with brutality. Come on, talk to me. You can see what's going on. Yeah, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. I'll tell you what's going on. Right on. Right on.
proof. So ain't compromising. $500,000 on the coupe. Gang, gang. Drug houses, man. Looking like Peru. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Graduated, I was overdue. I'm overdue. Pink money, man. I can barely move. That's about me. I'm gon' bust the move. Red James, 33 chains. Ocean now. Cruising. That's a liability. Hit the gas. Who's in my adrenaline?
Hello?
My guillotine. Other things. So it's Alumnae. We was in the business, so it's before the business yet. Be the door list. Be the co-conspirators. Break, we can't pull up. Switch states. Switch down foreign plates. Speech, ain't no way. Ain't no way. No, we come to play. We didn't come to play. No, rob the bank. We gon' rob the game. Again, they game, we game. But they are not the same. We been Percocet, yeah. Miley Percocet, being fine. Percocet, yeah. Percocet, yeah. Big fine, Percocet, yeah. Miley Percocet, big fine. Chase a chick, yeah. Never chase it, big fine. Mask on, get mask on, mask on, get mask on, mask on, get mask on, gas on, never lying on.
I don't need your sympathy. There's nothing you can say or do for me. And I don't want a miracle. You never change for no one. I hear your real plan. Why do you think that's and what you what
Good evening, everyone. Greetings. I'm Dr. Dorita Newsom-Dobbins, President of North Jersey Alumnae Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And I'd like to welcome you tonight to our series for Social Action, Barbershop and Beauty Salon Social Action Series, Mask Off, Who Are Our Allies? So tonight we will explore that important topic, and find out who really are our allies. Are they taking care of our Black and Brown communities? Are we voting for the right people? And more importantly, are we holding them accountable once we vote for them? Those topics and more will be explored tonight. Aaron, now to you.
Thank you, Sora. Hi, everyone. My name is Erin Michelle Williams, and I am a co-chair for the North Jersey Alumni Chapter's Social Action Committee. Super, super excited that y'all are here. I know that everyone spends a lot of time in front of laptops and cameras all day. So I hope you all can greatly appreciate the panelists and all the time that they're dedicating to have a really, really important conversation. So I am here to introduce our moderator, T. Missy Balmier. Her pronouns are she and her, and so are mine. And I'm just going to give you a little overview of Sora T. Missy Balmier. So for over 20 years, T. Missy has worked for many of New Jersey's political leaders at the state, federal, and municipal levels, serving in senior roles on campaigns and in government. In 2012, she launched her own consulting firm through planning work with government entities and Fortune 500 companies. That sounds like money, T. Missy. And they work on community engagement strategies. Missy has been the African-American based vote director and senior advisor for Bono for governor in 2013, Booker for Senate in 2014, Menendez for Senate in 2012 and 18, and a consultant for the New Jersey Senate Majority PAC under Senator State Sweeney. She is currently the deputy campaign manager for Senator Cory Booker's reelection campaign and co-chair of the New Jersey Democratic State Committee Black Caucus. In addition to her extensive, clearly, and winning political experience, Sora Balmier is a seasoned government official. She has served as Assistant Commissioner for Operations in the New Jersey Department of Human Services, Director of Intergovernmental Affairs in the Office of the Governor in the Corzine administration, as well as a Chief of Staff to East Orange Mayor Lester E. Taylor. Missy was a former member of the City of Trenton School Board and is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Trenton Alumni Chapter. She's a proud graduate of Trenton Central High School and holds a degree in political science from Rider University, a master's degree in public affairs and politics from Rutgers University's Edward J. Blaustein School of Planning and Public Policy. She was a graduate fellow at Eagleton Institute, and overall is just a really dynamic, amazing person and a perfect person to lead this conversation. So, T. Missy, I'm going to lead it to you to introduce our panelists.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you and see you.
All right. How is everyone doing this evening? Hey, it's always nice to see. It's always great to be with my sorors. And then to see other familiar faces is a blessing. So we're going to get this show going. So I will start off. I want to, again, this is so important. And it's obviously, we know how Delta Sigma Theta that we put in the work. And it's just another example of that. And this is just an important conversation. So thank you for asking me to participate. I greatly appreciate it. I'm honored to do so. So let me introduce our esteemed guest. And I'm really excited. A few of these people I know very well, and it's great to be able to talk with them in this context. Councilman Bergson Linnaeus is a Haitian immigrant, born to Haitian immigrants, a Haitian American councilman out of the city of East Orange. He began his life in public service as a board member of the East Orange YMCA from 2010 to 2012. He proudly served on the Board of Education for the city of East Orange from 2012 to 2017. And in 2018, he was sworn in to be the first Haitian American elected in the city of East Orange. And we are really blessed to have you, Bergson. So I'm going to ask for some help with Marcella's last name. I know I saw you on. Hi, Marcella. Marcella, can you pronounce your last name for me?
Maziarz.
Maziarz, got it. Marcella Maziarz is the Deputy Commissioner at the Department of Health and Senior Services, and she oversees the Division of Health Services. She also worked with First Lady Tammy Murphy and other national, state, and local partners on maternity health quality initiatives addressing the maternity health disparities. And prior to joining the department, she served as Assistant Director of Budget and Fiscal Analysis at the New Jersey State Majority Office. And she's also served as Deputy Press Secretary for Governor Corzine. I can't believe we haven't crossed paths. Your name is so familiar and it feels like we should have. Well, it's good to meet you today. She holds a Bachelor of Arts from Political Science and a Master's of Administration from Rutgers University, and she resides in Robbinsville. Quan Perry, Quan on, let me see. Brother Perry, how you doing? Quan Perry is a 13-year veteran history teacher. He began his career in education in 2007. He's a co-founder of the Black Student Union at Ramapo College in New Jersey. He is currently a teacher in Elizabeth Public School District, where he teaches world history, Black studies, US history, and economics. Quan has also served as the Affirmative Action Chairman and has been a mentor to students, interns, and new teachers. He believes that success is created through meaningful relationships and is dedicated to closing achievement gaps and social and economic gaps in students. Always love to see Black male teachers. Just warms my heart. And then Tahira Cooper. The wonderful and fantastic Ms. Ty Cooper is currently serving as the Senior Vice President for Policy and Communications at the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, or NJEDA. Ty is responsible for leading the EDA's communications and enhanced engagement strategies, i.e. she is making sure that the money gets to the Black folk as well as the other people. Thank you, Ty, we're happy that you're there. Prior to this role, she served as Deputy Chief Policy Advisor to Governor Murphy and led New Jersey's Federal Opportunity Zone Initiative. She previously served as Senior Advisor to Mayor Ras Baraka. And Quiet as Kept has been quite a mastermind in many of the successes that we see in Newark. Ty is awesome. She is a Newark resident and loves Newark very, very much. Ty has earned her bachelor's degree in urban planning from the Blaustein School at Rutgers University, and her master's degree in urban planning from the Robert F. Wagner School of Public Service at NYU. So Janine, I'm gonna need your help, some help with your last name as well. I'm really horrible with pronunciation.
Sure, it's Jean Lo Cicero.
Lo Cicero. Jean Lo Cicero is the legal director of the American Civil Liberties Union of New Jersey. She has litigated and advocated in a wide range of civil rights and civil liberties cases with a focus on prison conditions, racial equity, LGBTQ rights, women's rights, and reproductive health. She recently served as New Jersey's Transgender Equity Task Force and is a trustee of the Association of the Federal Bar of New Jersey and serves on the Legal and Policy Committee. Jean started her legal career as a legal fellow at the ACLU in Alabama after graduating with highest honors from Rutgers School of Law, Newark. And Brother James Bell is a former educator, a son of an educator, a mentor, and a concerned Black man. And that's all we need to say about that, because those are important, extremely. Good to meet you, Brother Bell. Diane, I'm gonna need some help with your last name, love.
Candelejo.
Candelejo.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have definitely not done that right. Thank you. Diane Candelejo is a corporate director of Anchor Strategies for the Social Impact and Community Investment Practice at Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas Health, and has an emphasis on ensuring health equity. Diane has been working with the City of Newark to promote local hiring of qualified and educated young professionals as part of the City of Newark's 2020 initiative. Prior to her current role, she worked at the Newark Community Economic Development Corporation. Diane is a native Newarker and a local Newark artist who splits her time between painting and promoting economic development in her community. Diane received a master's degree of administration from London School of Economics, focusing her studies on economic development, and graduated magna cum laude from Drew University with a bachelor's degree in economics and studio art. She currently resides in Newark. We can get a hand for our esteemed panelist. So now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. I'll try to direct the questions, but I think for now, I'll just kind of identify someone and ask you to want to spread the love around and make sure we have enough time to get through as many questions as possible. So the first question, I'm going to start with you, Councilman Bergson, Linnaeus. And the first question is, what does allyship mean to you? And what does allyship looks like in the field that you're in, and you're in the work you do in politics?
So first, thank you so much for having me on. Thank you to Ms. Deanna Phillips, Aaron, and Ms. Amina, for inviting me and having me be part of this amazing discussion. It's great to see you, Missy. Hello to all the panelists as well. I see some good friends out there. Ally, first and foremost, again, to everyone, my name is Bergson Lennis, for those who may have just joined. Councilman representing the 3rd Ward here in the city of East Orange. If I can get a hand clap for East Orange. All right, good, thank you. So for me, we just have to ensure that as as African-American elected officials, we have to ensure that our constituency, our Black and brown faces and Black and brown people, that we support them in every way that we can. Because we are from the community, we are of the community, and so we know what the community needs and we know what the community wants. And so our voices have to be, tunneled through, the voices of the people have to be funneled through us, and then we have to implement that through policy. And it's very critical that we do those type of things. And, they always say, when you want to look at your budget, it'll tell you everything you want to know about what you're doing with your city, what you want to do with your ordinances, what you want to do with your resolutions. All of those things have to be in alignment with the will of the people. And, and our people are Black and brown. And it's important that we, as elected officials, we are stewards of those values and those practices that supply, the community, have to make sure that everything is in alignment. And that's what allyship means to me, that we work part and parcel with our community in order to make sure that the needs of the greater community are served.
And let me just back up a little bit too. So I want to start off initially too with providing a definition of ally. So ally as a noun is a person or organization that cooperates or helps another in a particular activity, often to mutual benefit. And just to set the tone a little bit for part of what this conversation is about, we're talking about our non-Black brothers and sisters, recognizing that with everything that's going on in the world today, the only people who don't seem to be surprised by it are Black Americans, African Americans, Caribbean Americans. We're not surprised by what we see, but there are others who are. So this is a conversation about how do we engage the other communities that we live and work with to recognize that it is mutually beneficial for them to work with us on these issues. So I wanted to give you, set the stage a little bit. I apologize for not having done that prior to asking you the question, Bergson. But I wanted to set the stage a little bit around what when we're talking about allyship, we're talking about the role that others play in moving our communities forward, whether they are elected, community leaders, or other. So I'm gonna toss the question now and Bergson, if you wanna come back to it because you have some additional thoughts, feel free. I'm gonna toss the question to Diana.
Hi, yes, good
evening,
everyone. So ultimately, when we talk about allyship, and this is not a popular idea, but it really is about contesting power in a very respectful way and manner, because essentially what you're doing is defying the status quo, right, in an institution. For example, in healthcare, it looks like addressing healthcare disparities that affect the Black and brown community. In my role, in my job specifically, it's how do we change our policies and practices so that we can purchase from small businesses that are Black businesses, that are Latinx businesses. Honestly, the business case is there. In a pandemic, we saw our supply chains disrupted, right? We couldn't get our goods from China, from all over the country, really. And so that localized, investing in our community becomes super important, even in the event of a pandemic. When it comes to workforce, again, hiring locally, hiring our Black and Brown brothers and sisters, hiring our Latinx folks, our talent is here. We shouldn't have vacancies. You know, that's a cost for a business. Whether you're white or not, whoever's overseeing those roles and those departments is having their employees burn out when they can't fill those positions. So I think it's the way you frame it so that there is a business case, but taking a
I'll read it for you again. Ship mean to you, and what does allyship look like in the work that you do?
Okay. To me, what an ally is for my community, it has to be from my community. It can't look like people from other communities, because us trusting somebody else to do something for us and to work with us, history has shown it doesn't work. Only people that love us when it comes down to it is us. In the education field, education became a business. When we start talking about the charter schools, for a long time, North was a state-run district. You had people that didn't look like the kids that I was teaching, that set a curriculum for the kids I'm teaching, that set rules and guidelines for the kids that I'm teaching. No, it just doesn't work. They have their own agenda, and their agenda is not to see us succeed. So no, with me, we are our only allies. Short and simple.
Okay. All right.
I knew you were going to
Marcella,
pick me.
same question.
So for me, again, my name is Marcella Ospina, me is yours. For me, being an ally means that you look at every decision that you take in the position that you are. I am the first deputy commissioner in the Department of Health that oversees health systems that is a Latina. I am an immigrant. I moved to the United States when I was 19 years old. I bring a perspective to this department and to what we do every day, and I'm conscious of it. And every decision that I make, to me, being an ally is thinking of who are you representing? So in the state of New Jersey, we have 71 hospitals, almost 4,000 healthcare facilities that are licensed under my division. So what I see as being an ally is everyday thinking, how can I make the regulatory process in the facilities that I oversee finally change their institutional biases? What regulations, what work can I change in the way that we do business in this state so that the people that look like me, those that are part of my community, are protected and are served better and have better outcomes in healthcare in the state.
Got it. Okay. Brother Perry, same question. So you had some time. So we want to hear the fire.
First of all, ally is, in my depiction of it, is anyone that helps us push our agenda forward. Throughout history, we've had allies, whether it be abolitionists or people during the civil rights movement that were not necessarily of Black descent. But I would say how I define ally, first and foremost, someone who puts forth, from Mansa Musa to Garvey to Huey P. Newton. One thing is luggage. We got enough luggage. People just to learn other cultures through our schooling that has misplaced our history. So that's first and foremost. For me to depict someone as an ally, it would be someone who, I tell my students this all the time, the highest level of understanding is putting yourself in another person's shoes. And this is a very hard thing to do for kids and definitely adults, as we see today in what's going on in the world. So that would be first and foremost. None of the pandering that I see, today that many of us see, not things like you listen to Tupac. That's not going to cut it. We need people who really put forth an effort to know our history and the plight of Black people in this country and abroad. And with that being said, that allows a person who I call an ally to highlight our contribution and our legacy as trendsetters, originators, and innovators. So with that being said, when you do that, you're able to help us shift the narrative of our youth today, of the Black men and women today, not as someone who can be a victim of police brutality, someone that you see as a contributor to society, and even bigger than that, an originator of many of the things that are going on today. So that is what I pretty much see as an ally. And something that someone chimed in on earlier, with that being said, also be an advocate to place us in positions where we've been passed over in the past for positions, because we are more than qualified. And with that being said, not for us to restore our greatness, because we've been great, we've remained great. It's just we have not controlled the narrative of our greatness. And that's something that I'm looking for an ally or an advocate of our cause to push forward as far as traits.
Okay, thank you. So Janine, I want to let everybody answer this question. I have some follow-up.
Sure. So when I think of allyship, I think about, in addition to understanding who you're allying with, it's also making the commitment to and the effort to recognize your own privilege that you're walking into the room with. So whether that's based on race or gender identity, sexual orientation, all of those categories. And then working in solidarity with the movement and the struggle for justice. And so I think when I think about allies, they're always understanding that ending oppression for everyone at the table is the goal. And so in my work in social justice advocacy, we show up as allies. I think we try to be allies by working in coalitions with folks to help think about what's the agenda, not just kind of sitting in our own offices and coming up with a checklist of what we want to do, but really working in coalition with folks and listening and lifting up. And ACLU has a lot of times has a lot of power in the room, and so it's thinking about how can we share that power with others and make sure voices are being heard. So that's part of what I think about with how that shows up in our work. And then of course, that's with our work internally too, when we think about how is our office managed and hiring and all those practices about like letting people be their authentic selves, I think is a real important part of like being a colleague ally. So that's how I think about it.
Ms. Cooper.
So many of these Zoom things. So first and foremost, thank you so much. And Missy, you're doing a great job. Everybody has the barber shop or something in the background. I love that whole concept because that's where you really get to see, hear, and understand people. The way I look at allies is when your words and your actions match. I think for all of us that work in any political spaces, you hear all the jargon, you hear all the right things, but until your words actually match your actions and it's lined up with resources, you aren't saying anything to me of substance or relevance or even pushing yourself in a space to be an ally. The second thing I will say is that don't say that we're in a colorblind society. Don't say that, everybody's equal, because we're not. Acknowledge clearly what the inequalities are, where the inequities are, and then address them. The way that you can address them in public or private spaces is acknowledging that there's a disparity, whether it's in academia, in businesses, on finances, whatever space you're in, acknowledge it, right? The fact that the CEO of Wells Fargo can say there's just not enough Black talent says something. His words are following up with his actions, which is why they don't have Black people in spaces in the finance area in Wells Fargo. So for me, again, if you're in spaces where you can make a change, do it, be it. And so at EDA, I think that's something that we've been firmly behind with this administration and with Governor Murphy. Again, it's not just action, it's not just words, it's also actions following up. Making sure that if we don't have a statewide disparity study, we're doing one at EDA. Making sure when we acknowledge that Black and Latinx small businesses weren't getting an equal share of the pie when it came to PPP or small business loans for COVID relief, that we made sure we put in clauses to ensure that communities of color had access and set asides to ensure that they were also getting a piece of the pie during COVID. So say it, acknowledge that it's there, and then align your policies so that they're filling in gaps where they exist. But acknowledge it first and foremost and make sure that your actions and your words line up. Yeah.
So I want to, because I will, in all honesty, I have often, and I've worked with, you know, politicians, elected officials, government officials. You know, I've been over 20 years. That's what I've been doing. And there's been many of times that I felt like, you know, we're on our own. We got to do this on our own because these folks aren't going to do it. Democratic or Republican, they're not going to do it. But then the pragmatic part of me is like, but they're the people in the position to make the decisions right now because we're not in control. So I guess my question for you, James, in an environment where there's a recognition of the deficits, right? When it comes to Black Americans, the deficits are there and systemically created. Recognizing that they are there, and that means that the ability to use power to create more immediate change is difficult. What recommendations do you have, you know, for those in our community who, you know, they want to go it alone, which I don't necessarily think is, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying that that's a tactic. I'm curious to hear from you what recommendations you have for how you are creating the allies within our community.
Okay. So when I say that we have to look only to each other, we have a lot of politicians that have agendas. So even the people that look like us, that get in the office, they have to abide by certain rules. For instance, when I say it's only us in the community or a city where the demographic is 95% Black, how come we have a police force that's 40% white? How come we have a fire department that's 50% Caucasian? That just says other people come in the form, they can't love us the way we love ourselves. If that police officer approaches that child, he's approaching them from a mindset as I'm here to do a job, not that I'm here to protect and serve. He needs to get back home to the suburbs, to his family, and he's not taking any risks. Some of the times when you see these police officers and they act irrationally, it's out of fear. It's out of fear because they don't know who we really are. All they know is how we're depicted. If you don't have an intimate knowledge of who we are, and you just watch TV, I might be scared of Black people. If I just dropped on this planet from someplace else and I'm watching TV and I didn't have an intimate knowledge of who Black people are, the way we depict it, if I saw a Black person, I would be scared of. So in one avenue, I understand somewhat why that officer has fear in his heart. The other part of it is they just don't want to see us succeed. We have to keep our money in our community, just like the Asians do. People go around, they say voting is the key, but Asian Americans have the least voter turnout than any other group in this country. At the same time, Asian Americans have the highest annual salary than any other group in this country because they're not looking for somebody else to help them out. They take care of each other. Their money stays in their community. That's why they can open up a Chinese restaurant in my community, but you cannot open up a soul food restaurant in their community. You're gonna go broke. We have to start first by keeping our money in our community. Stop supporting people's community. We sending them, their kids to college, but I can't go to them and say, you know what? We have a student here who's never been to college. We're taking donations to try to get him a scholarship or extra funds so he can go to school. My community has supported your Chinese store for the last 15 years on my corner. and I can ask you to donate $500 to send this kid to school. But my community has sent your kids to school.
So let me build on that. So, and I'm gonna throw this out to whoever wants to jump in turn for this question, just as a follow-up. What are some of the tactics that we can use to create, for those of us who, want to continue to broaden the tent in terms of our allyship? What are some tactics you think could be used, using the example that Brother Bell gave of engaging the Asian community who, benefit economically from the Black community? What tactics do you think we could be using to have a conversation with them about allyship?
Missy?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with a lot of the points that Mr. Brother Bell made. One of the things that I believe is always, I think people listen to the almighty dollar. I think if we withhold our dollars from these corporations and these entities that do not support our communities, they must in turn then come to us, and they must present themselves in a way and show that they are truly aligned with our mission, our vision, and our core values. And I don't believe everyone's disguised, sheep and wolf's clothing, a wolf in sheep's clothing. So I believe there are some genuinely want to work with our communities in order to help our communities and not profit off of our communities. But they have to be, weeded out through that process. And that process starts with supporting our community, supporting home, and spending our dollars home and keeping our dollars home. And once you have that established, then you can go out and spread your wings. It's a process of, they always say that, until you repair your home and until you fix your home, you can't worry about another person's home. And so we have to worry about our backyard, our front yard, our side yard, and everything around. Repair that, then we have the ability to go out and then
for numerous administrations, that was pushed by the assembly at one point as well. But if you're going to police our communities, to your point, Ms. Bell, make sure that they know exactly who's there. I have cousins and family members that are part of the Newark PD that know their communities. They live in the community, so they know the kids who are out there, so they can say, instead of judging them quickly, be like, what, let me go talk to your mom right quick. And so I think there has to be more of that sense of shared values that you mentioned, but also that community that's built there. So in that regard, it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter who you are, but if you're living in that community, if you're buying in that community, if you have, you're paying taxes in that community, you're more invested in that community. So it's not just a fly by night kind of thing, but it's all right, my tax dollars are going here. I want to make sure that where I live is safe. And I think it's that mutually beneficial relationship that can happen. So on a legislative side, this is something from a municipal state side that it needs to be pushed. That's something that our police need to think about. And if you think about where the highest paid police officers are, they tend to be in communities of color. So my thing is, again, make sure that we're opening those lists up, and then make sure that the requirement is part and parcel of what we're doing to ensure equity across the board, but especially in policing.
Anyone else? All right, so
I was gonna speak. But...
Oh, sure, I'm sorry.
This is probably gonna be a theme going forward for even the rest of this conversation tonight. Accountability. The major thing that our community is lacking is, no matter who we elect, no matter what businesses come to our community, we gotta hold people accountable. The thing is that we want to vote blue, vote red, whatever the case is, critique business inside the community. Why isn't Black business thriving? Why is other cultures thriving more than the Black community? Our school systems, our policing. We need to hold everyone accountable. whether they look like us or whether they don't look like us. As Brother Malcolm used to say, every brother ain't a brother and every sister ain't a sister. So let's just be honest with the fact of the matter is, if we held the Chinese store accountable, they would be accountable. We're saying we're not gonna support your business anymore. We're not gonna do this anymore. Okay, we're gonna protest this. We're not gonna elect, if not to my brother from East Orange, if his constituents gotta hold him accountable. Not just because he's one of us, he's doing the job. With that being said, when we start to hold each other accountable, now our picture of who our allies are become even clearer.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good point. I often say to people, the work starts after election day. And so you can vote for whoever you vote for, but the accountability, the work starts after election day, not before and not during, in the sense that the accountability starts at that point. And you hold accountable even the people you didn't vote for. They now represent you whether you voted for them or not, and they too can be held accountable. So someone asked a question about accountability, got a little note. What does accountability look like to you?
Missy?
Yes.
Yeah, so, again, just like what Brother Kwan and the panelists are saying, and I think everyone is kind of saying the same thing, is that, mission, vision, and core values and accountability, they have to be married together. Because once you identify that person who has the same mission, vision, once you elect that person and that person does become elected, and they have the same mission, vision, and core values, now it's time to hold that person accountable. You have to make sure that they're putting in the work that helps, support whatever agenda that got them into that office, that helps support the community. And, all of those things equal and add up to accountability. But you can't have, accountability in one aspect and not have the others. You need all of those things together in order to, make sure that progress is being made.
Jean, what do you think is one of the I guess, mistakes that allies, non-Black allies make often in their efforts to be allies, What do you think is a common mistake that you observe or maybe have done yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I've been doing this work for 15 years or more than that now. And it's like I've learned along the way. And part of it is just not, like looking beyond yourself, right? And looking, being in community with people. I think, mistakes are, not asking the right questions, not figuring out who's not at the table when you're making decisions. Those are the kinds of things I think about. I did want to talk a little bit about accountability though, too, because I think sometimes there are a lot of barriers to accountability. And right now I've been spending a lot of time on police transparency and accountability. And there are a lot of structural issues, like problems where people can't hold police accountable. And I'm thinking about the headline I saw just a few hours ago about Tamir Rice and his family and how the Department of Justice shut down that investigation. And like elections have results and matter. But we also know that folks we think our allies aren't going to do everything for us. So just to say that there's so much work to do, even to just like push for minimum levels of accountability, that it feels there's just a lot of work to do, and we need to kind of make sure we're bringing more people to the table and using our political power to to push on that front.
Marcella,
so Missy,
you look like
I wanted to add just a little bit on accountability, and how do you bring some accountability, in particular when you're in a position and you are working for individuals that say, go ahead, bring this to light. In this administration, the Department of Health has been the first department to do a maternal report card that shows the performance of each hospital and how they do when they take care of women of color. This was the first time that a department said, I am going to be very clear about what you're showing and what you're doing. And I'm going to have that accountability, because we need to show what are those outcomes. Of the 49 hospitals that have labor and delivery facilities in the state of New Jersey, only 7 of them meet the thresholds of the World Health Organization of what it means to have low C-section rates. What happens is that in the rest of the hospitals, women are just coming in and they're just being seen as, you have a C-section, we're not gonna let you labor. It's easier for us to schedule them and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
So by us creating that report card, we are now saying, take a look at who is serving you in your community. Do you want to go to a place that values you less and gives you worse outcomes? And I think that it's important for us to, as we look at who is an ally, those people that are day in and day out working and proactively changing things and putting that accountability out there and showing that not everything is, is as it seems. It's not well, and we need to do things to put out there what is really happening.
Mm-hmm. Diana, did you want to chime in on accountability?
Sure.
And what it looks
Yeah,
like?
no,
I don't know if you had any thoughts in terms of like within, the Latino, Latinx community, what does it look like within your community to the larger community as well?
Sure, I totally agree with Marcella's comment about utilizing, data and some of these scorecards and different metrics to showcase accountability and measure progress, right? You have to have that transparency and that communication. In terms of, actually, I was thinking about the question that you had asked, Jean, about, some of the mistakes that non-Black allies might make. And I think about this too, even in the Latinx community. I think there's also the misconception that just because we're minorities, we all are allies. And
right.
We also have to be very mindful that there is this anti-Blackness that has also been embedded, unfortunately, in Latin America with colonization. And so that also needs to be considered. I think the mistake, again, is to be colorblind, the refusal to be vulnerable. I make people very uncomfortable in meetings when I talk about structural racism. But I think that discomfort and those conversations behind closed doors need to happen. And so long as we don't have the courage to have those conversations, then we're never going to address the root cause of these social injustices.
So I don't have any ownership into the sister's book, Isabel Wilkerson's book, Caste, the Origins of Our Discontent, but I recommend it highly to everyone who's listening. It is an incredible book and really does give an expanded perspective on racism just not being sufficient to describe what the United States is and has created. So I recommend that book to everyone. So recognizing that Black people and people of color, but particularly Black Americans, rightfully do not trust the Democratic or Republican Party. You should not. And I work for the Democratic Party, and you should not trust them. This is not about trust. How should you, so the question being, how would you recommend that Black voters navigate? Because you may not like someone, right? They may not be your ideal, but a decision has to be made. So how would you recommend that Black voters or voters of color, disadvantaged voters, but Black voters in particular, navigate this coming election knowing that?
So can I just say something about that? A couple of weeks ago, HHS sent out a memo saying that all federal funding must no longer support any type of work that is outright saying that there is racism in the grants that they're being supported. It's crazy. So we have in the state of New Jersey received $10 million from the federal government, from the CDC, to specifically fund the newly created New Jersey Maternal Care Quality Collaborative. The number one issue that we're fighting is that in the state of New Jersey, just because of your skin color, you will have worse outcomes if you are delivering. And in general, you will have worse outcomes in a hospital. But if you're a mother delivering in a hospital in the state of New Jersey, just because you're Black, then you have 3 times more likelihood of having higher morbidity, and you're 5 times more likely to experience death after delivering a baby, just because of your skin color. Once we adjust for everything else. So we know that there is institutional racism that we have to fight. We received these $10 million to start doing this implicit bias training, to start saying to facilities, we're going to change regulations that allow you to get away with the institutional racism in your facilities. We're going to do push for better outcomes, and that's the work of the collaborative. And to see that, you know, it matters who you vote for. It matters when you see what really comes down and what is affecting you, for us to now have a memo that says that basically what we had set out to do with the $10 million, we can't do, because there's no such thing as racism in healthcare, is just mind-boggling to me. And I think that these are the things that we have to keep in mind. What really is the outcome down the line of what you're seeing?
Missy?
Yes.
Missy, may I just ask a question of Marcella? Are you also looking at pain threshold as well, and the specter of pain threshold with the African-American woman?
Absolutely. And that is all part of what happens to these mothers, right? So we know for a fact that and I actually printed out these, the latest review of our maternal mortality review committee here in the state of New Jersey. I know that I think Sakima may have put there that we are 47th out of 50 in the outcomes for mothers in a state of New Jersey, where we have 49 hospitals, where we have these big health systems. What we're finding is that the mothers make complain of pain. They're dying of infections because they're not being heard. And it's the same when you are an African American and you're, say, for example, one of the biggest issues that we see is individuals that suffer from sickle cell anemia. They come into a hospital now where the implicit bias of that practitioner is going to, you're coming to an emergency room, oh, you're just looking for opioids, when the person is truly in pain. Just because of your skin color, you're going to be believed less.
Jean? Yeah, I just wanted to, since we're talking about disparities, another huge disparity in New Jersey is around arrests for marijuana, and legalization is also on the ballot this year. You have to turn over your ballot. It's question number 3. I'm sorry, question number 1. Oh, sorry, my boss will kill me. But marijuana legalization is on the ballot. New Jersey has some of the worst disparities when it comes to arrests. We know that white folks and Black folks use marijuana at the same rates, but as a Black person, you're 3.5 times more likely to get arrested in New Jersey. And so one thing we've tried to do as allies is really put racial justice at front and center on the issue about marijuana legalization. And it's not just about it as a criminal justice issue, but it's about economics, and it's about, not job creation and creating a market, and then also like eliminating a tool for police that they use to make stops on the street and in cars all the time. So we're trying to not just make it about like, oh yeah, you should have the right to smoke weed because alcohol, but really to front and center think about how we've used drug criminalization as a way to harm communities, and make sure that the revenues from the legal market are reinvested in the communities that have suffered the most harm from that.
I'm going to add a little bit, just because if we're talking about this, the Democratic Republican in this coming election, I think we have to be, I want to push my people to be more sophisticated than they give us credit for. We have to look beyond our initial feeling about, oh, here we go with two old white men, both with, you know, somewhat spotty records. One clearly much more problematic. We have to move beyond that and make a decision, the right one preferably for our communities, but not just listen to sound bites in a commercial. And we're capable, access to information. I remember, you know, way long time ago doing campaigns where people couldn't just get access to information the way they can now. Like folks spend an absorbent amount of time on social media, on their phones, on the internet. And it's so much easier for us to get information. Fact check what you see and what you hear. And it doesn't require that you do a dissertation and you do research paper. It's very easy to fact check a lot of the things that have been said, particularly, try not to be partisan, by some of the folks who are running. It's very easy to fact check. And I just encourage us to do that because we're capable of doing it. You don't need to have a master's degree, undergrad degree to quickly do a Google search on random things that folks say that are just straight lies. And we have to do that. We have to be diligent in that regard. Brother Bell?
I was thinking back to what Brother Bergson said before, how you hold them accountable, stop supporting their business. This is America. That's the only thing they respect is money. It's a capitalist society. So they gotta have consequences. It's a lot of money that passed through the African-American community. Withhold that from them, okay? We right now, somewhat we have to play that fair game because we don't have our own. And the goal should be to get our own, to be completely independent of it. So we don't have to deal with, no offense to anyone, organizations like the WHO and the CDC, who's one of their main contributors is Bill Gates, a man that's on record as saying that he wants to decrease the population of the planet, okay? And if he's one of your biggest contributors, I'm already looking at you sideways. Saying goal needs to be where we don't need any of their help. Deal with each other. We don't have it like that right now. We have to use them like they're using us. I don't like either politician, but if you want my vote, like I said, is my leverage. What are you going to do for it? And you have to do something to earn my vote before you get it, okay? Get in the office first, and then if you do something for me and my people, you've earned my vote to put you back in office. You're not getting my vote before you do something for me because you promised me you were going to do something. We already know how that story ends. We don't have any friends in high office. All we have is us.
Mr. Bell, can I just say though, on this point, and I know Missy brought it up, for this particular election, when right now, right, so we do have a two-party system. Clearly it needs to be expanded. Clearly we need more than that. But in this two-party system, when right now you have Trump, again, you have a Republican against a Democrat right now. You've got everybody from Ice Cube to 50 Cent saying why they're not voting for Biden, or, you know, they're bringing out all their Black people out to support them. But then you also look at what has been said by the Trump administration. In this moment, when we have to make a decision, when this might be one of the most important elections of our time right now, like, where do you lean? Do you lean into a person who says to women of color who are congressional members, go back to where you came from? Do you say that to a person who talked about Obama and created this birtherism theory? Like, again, neither one of them are perfect, but I think at this moment, when we are 5 days away from the election, when we're making decisions, where we've had to change the process of how we're voting because of this pandemic, like, where's the decision point? Because I like the theoretical ideas of I don't support them, show me your vote. But right now, with a limited period of time left to vote for the president of the United States, in addition to all the other roles that are coming down there, like, their time to prove who they were, who they are, I think they've done that. At this point, when we've got dog whistles coming out for major things, at this point, looking at our country, where we stand, that there's two people to choose from. So then what do you do? Like, where do you go from there?
And Missy, let me add something to that. right now, what we're going through is a pandemic that is deadly if you're brown or black. If you are brown or black, you are dying between the ages of 30 to 50. And you are 2.5 times more likely to die of COVID. Now, explain to us, how can you continue when this is where we are in our country? We're basically leaving an entire generation of children without parents because our brown and black parents are dying from COVID.
Okay, that's what they tell us, that they're dying from COVID. Remember, most of the way you get your information is through their media. Their media is not here to inform us. Their media is here to influence us. Okay, so they throw out some of these lofty numbers about the death totals and the amount of people that's dying from it.
Let me just. I want to like minimize the. I want to let him finish.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I wanted to make sure I let you, with you to finish your point.
Right. So, yeah, when they have an agenda to push a vaccine, they need to sell a fear. They need to tell us that is millions and millions of people dying from COVID. Okay, that's what they're telling me on their media. I don't believe 99% of the things that I hear from their media. They do your own research because doctors are coming out and telling us that on death certificates, that they are forced to put cause of death COVID-19 when a person got hit by a car. They're playing with their numbers. They're not informing us. They're controlling our thinking. No, they have. I'm not buying.
I don't doubt it that there's an agenda and people have an agenda. Let me just say this, Brother Perry. But we have to recognize there are people, I'm sure, on this call who have lost people to COVID. It's real. Black and brown people are dying. So we can be really, really smart and intelligent and recognize all the shade that we've experienced as a people, but we can't be so smart that we don't pay attention to the things that are clearly in front of us that's happening to us. So again, asking us to be strategic around how we make decisions. A vote at this point isn't for something, it's against something. Sometimes that's the decision you're making. You're making a vote against something instead of being for something. Brother Perry?
I just want to, bring it back to what the question you posed about my advice in terms of how to navigate the current system and the voting process and how you vet candidates. And with that being said, there's been a push, and this always should have been a push, that we should have been more focused on the Senate and the Congress and the House than ever a presidency. This was and the problem is, and this is something that Huey Newton and Bobby Seale constantly spoke of, but we keep losing. And I know I'm a history teacher, and they're like, look, here goes the history guy. But the reason that they were a threat is because they knew the system better than everyone knew the system. And if you don't know the system, then you can't navigate the system. And the problem with our people is the reality of it, we don't have a party. We have an agenda. And once we understand that, I don't care what your party is. Tell me what your platform is. Now, tell me the platform. Now, if we go throughout history, the Democratic Party wanted the Old South back with Andrew Johnson in the
still
90s.
Does.
Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, and Abraham Lincoln wasn't for us. He enjoyed minstrel shows that show laughing at white people in blackface. We got to take people to task. He was forced into greatness. So with this idea, and this is because I have the knowledge of this, and this is something that I bring into the classroom, that we got to vet everybody. Everybody has to be taken to task, and this is how we do it. And when we realize that our agenda is the upliftment of all our people throughout the African diaspora, that's when we're gonna go somewhere. I used to be an after school organization for the upliftment of young Black men. And something I used to always say in our meetings, it was a way to keep people on the agenda. Everything you say, you had to follow it with, I'm here to uplift my people. So if it was, I'm tired of people coming late to this meeting because I'm here to uplift my people, whatever it was, we have to bring it back to the agenda. Now, there's platforms being put forth. Now we know the historical legacy of some of these candidates, which I have, discrepancies about many of them. But if we flooded the Senate and the House with our people, like we should have done a long time ago, this wouldn't have mattered who won this the general election. We only come out for the general. And with that being said, we didn't take Obama to task, and that's why we're here now. We had to hold him accountable. He could have did more. A lot of people could have done more, and we didn't give him the support in the House and the Senate for that to happen. But I'm not aligned. So my advice would be is to not align yourself with any party. Don't get your ballot and just go down blue or go down red. What's their platform? And if we took the time to vet every candidate or in our community and do these type of things that we do, keeping our IG together and keeping our image together, then we would not be in this place. And the problem with our people, we don't like to do the background knowledge. We take the advice, as like Brother Bell said, we get our little media snaps here. I know the kids, they like to do that late night, the college kids now, they watching the late night news on reruns. And that's where they get their news instead of saying, you know what, let me get a background on this candidate. This person has a history of this. This person has this. So with that being said, is the parties change throughout history. They change their platform to do what? What does a politician want to do? Get elected. That is the bottom line. So
and let me be clear, a politician wants to get elected to have power.
To get elected. The agenda is to no different. When you go on your interview, you don't tell your boss you come late every day. Like, you want to get the job first. You're not going to say, you know what, I'm going to shuck and jive when it comes to the issue. Obama didn't tell us, oh, I'm going to bend a little on the public option. He just did it. So that's the idea. We have to say, no, I elected you because my family needed a public option. I elected you for this. What you put through don't look like what you presented me. And the same goes for every candidate. If you don't do that, guess what I'm gonna do? I am not voting for you next time because you're not a person of your word. And that's pretty much how I think people should go forth in this election and any election going forth, and tell your kids too.
You know what? Back to what Sister Ty had tried to navigate choosing somebody in this election. It's pretty much trying to choose between a fox and a wolf. But listen, they're both out to get us. That's just the bottom line. They're both out to get us. All we have, and I keep saying it until people get it. See, elections are bought. You pay for elections. You think this person is more popular and you like their views more because they have more money to get more media exposure. People are not really paying attention to everything that's on that person's agenda or everything on their platform. Okay, no more.
Can I say this too, Brother Bell? And listen, I talk to people about this very topic all day, all the time. We're in a situation where I ask people, who do you think you have more ability to hold accountable at the end of the day when you're because there are two options, which is, we know is a problem. That's a whole nother issue. But we have two options. And you have to ask yourself, who will you be able to hold accountable? Because to sit out, which is what we usually do, right? So I'm not going to vote for anybody. That really is the vote for the person you hurt the person you like the least, right? You're going to help Trump or you're going to help Biden, depending on who you would have voted for had you gone out. So the question I ask people is, okay, so you want to hold people accountable. You don't like their record in the past because both records, have issues. Who do you think you'll have an ability to hold accountable? I mean, ask yourself that question and then decide how you'll move forward.
And so remember also that this is not just about a presidential election. Every election at every level has an impact on your life. Think about how many people we have in our state legislature that are reelected year after year, year after year. What have you done for that community? Why are they being reelected? Is it because of special interest and specific funding? Or have you really done something for our community to continue to be reelected?
Right. I just saw something pop up in the chat that we don't have a dog in this fight. That's a dirty lie. We definitely have a dog in this fight. Let me just make this point. It can get worse, and the kind of bad that you won't be able to control. I'm more concerned about the international relations than anything, to some extent, because domestically it's been messed up. It's messed up now. It's been messed up. We're clear. We have to address that. But internationally, we could go to war and they could decide to have a draft. Who you think getting drafted? That's a real issue. That's a real possibility, a real one. And we have to, and I'm not a fear monger at all, but we have to be really, really clear about what is at stake. We absolutely, as Black people, have a dog in this race. Because when it goes bad for us worse. So we always have a dog in the race.
Right. So let me
Berkson, I'm sorry.
Let me ask you a question.
I was just gonna say, as the like, I believe I'm the lone elected official on the panel. To Brother Bell, I agree with a lot of your points. However, to withhold your vote, I don't agree with that. I think that a lot of people, many of our ancestors fought for the right to vote. They died for the right to vote. They were hosed, they were beaten, they were arrested, jailed for that right to vote. And by not voting and withholding your vote, you are, basically, I don't want to say laughing in their face, but basically spitting on the hard work and legacy that they have. And the local elections, and I saw in the chat, someone mentioned it, your local elections, in my opinion, obviously I'm a local elected official, have the most impact, and we talk about the Black dollar and we're talking about our communities and how do you get things done in your community? You do it by voting local, and in conjunction with what you're going to do on, in the community as well. And they both have to work together in order to increase, the benefits of the community. And you can't do that by withholding your vote. I just believe that if you don't vote, you don't have a right to say anything. And we should never, ever, ever give that power away, ever.
Listen, brother, I hear you, and I'm torn on that. But we didn't get our right to vote by voting. But how do I hold them accountable? How do I give them my vote before they gave me anything? I can't keep giving you my vote and praying that this time this official is going to do right. That's like I'm going.
But did you hold them accountable when you gave them your vote?
That's like I'm going to the store and purchase something and I keep buying it. And he's like, oh, I get it back home, it's defective. I'm gonna go buy it again. I'm gonna give you, no, this time, give me the product first. Let me get it back home to see if it's doing any damn thing. Because you're not getting my money continuously. You're not gonna keep continuously getting my vote without giving me anything.
I guess the question I have is what is happening after you vote? Because where we fall short is after the election, we go about our business and trust that they're gonna do the right thing. That's not how it works. Okay, let me tell you, I've worked for congressional offices and the state, local level. The other folks, they show up. And they are present. They are expressing their concerns on a regular basis.
And listen, this is something that's what I meant when I returned back to accountability. I'm holding my people, and Brother Bell could speak to this. You got to be an active citizen. And this is something we got to start teaching, man, because we done messed up, man. We got to get to the babies, because we're not teaching people to be active citizens. You're not a citizen just because you are born here or you earned your citizenship. Citizenship is participating in the process. Now, as the councilman said, I'm gonna vote in every election. I've voted since I was able to, because I know Medgar Evers, Fred Hampton Jr., they gave their life for this. They did a lot to initiate that our voice means something. Just like our voice means something in the consumer world, because we are the biggest consumers that possibly can live in this country. We consume, but we're not consuming ballots the way we consume that Versace and those items. If we was doing that, then our respectability would be where it's supposed to be at. Now, it don't matter. Now, with that being said, in the big scheme of things, we could put SpongeBob in office if we holding him accountable, because he got to do what he got to do. But we're not active citizens. We forget that, as Missy said, it don't stop at the ballot. It just starts there. Once I put you in, I'm knocking on your door. Brother Councilman, what's up with the traffic light? Brother Councilman, I ain't feeling my crossing guard. Brother Councilman, Mr. Perry ain't teaching. He coming late, he doing this. Whatever the case is, step your game up as a citizen, and then you force, no different. You wanna know what a teacher's worst nightmare is? A thunderous parent. A thunderous parent who's coming in. And this is something that last year I was teaching a class, and the superintendent, all of them came in the room, and I knew they were coming. I didn't tell the kids because I didn't feel a need to. And then one young sister says to me, Mr. Perry, why you didn't tell us the ops was coming? And I said, because I do my job every day. And that's how I model what you're supposed to do in your life. If you do your job, you'll never have anything to worry about. But the problem is we're not doing our job as citizens until something happens. We wait for a Trayvon Martin. We wait for a Breonna to come out here and start getting riled up. We should have been actively in an active state of vigilance with our historical legacy in this country. We should be constantly vigilant.
So we're coming to I'm gonna give you a chance, Brother Bell, because we're gonna give you all an opportunity to really do a quick wrap up, like 1-2 minute piece, quick wrap up, final comments, Brother Bell.
So, like I said in the beginning, how do you, and you say, you know what, for respectability, the Asians, like I said, don't vote. They're not filling out those ballots, as you said we should do. And they're flourishing. They're flourishing more than any other group in this country. And they're not doing it by voting. They're doing it by looking out for their own. I'm not fighting their fight. That man that's in office right now is their problem. He's not, besides what comes out his mouth, because he's not a politician. He don't know how to tell us he hates us, and he don't give a damn about us and make it sound good. Joe Biden knows how to do that very well. He's mastered the art of making us think that, you know, he's the lesser of two evils. But besides the fact that Trump doesn't know how to lie to me, he's not a politician, the worst thing about him is what comes out of his mouth. So when you compare the two, like I said, they the same evil to me. I say, like I said before, I don't think the key is in our voting power, because we keep giving it away. Once they're in there, how do you hold the president accountable once he's in office and he already has your vote?
Is that a question?
I have something just to say, to follow, just a quick piggyback off of that. I agree with many of the things that Brother Bell just spoke on, but my concern right now is in the Asian community, they might have the money to pull up their people and to protect their people. How many of your people right now are going to be reliant on what happens?
Right.
And right now we don't have, let's talk about right now. I don't got the means to help my family that's on Section 8. I don't have the means to do so. So now I'm reliant on what happens. So right now, you know, if there's a raccoon at your door, you're going to talk about how we going to stop the raccoons from reproducing, or you're going to get rid of the raccoon at your door. What you going to do right now?
And I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to get everybody to get a chance to give their closing. Diana?
Thank you. Such an interesting conversation. Listen, all I can tell folks is to please educate yourself, research, do your research, and know all of America's history, right? I think as immigrants, as Latinx folks that come, you know, we know and understand the American dream, but we don't, you know, because school doesn't teach us that. Even when you come as an immigrant, as a young kid, all the racist policies and the legacy and the impact of racism, what that has done for the Black community. And, you know, to Brother Perry's point, to be active citizens. And with that, I'll close out. Thank you.
Marcella, I'm sorry.
I just want to say that thank you so much for having me. This has been a great discussion. I've really enjoyed this. Thank you, Sakima, for inviting me to this. What you could do every day that I think we all need to just strive for is to look for the ways to take that action to stop what you see that you don't like. If you're not the action and you're not taking that step, things will never change. If you want to see that change, you have to be that change. So, you know, when I see that something is not right and that, you know, Black and brown people are suffering, I try to find a way to take action, even if it's a small thing. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Jean?
Yes, thank you so much for having me on this panel, and thanks to Aaron for thinking of me. There's so much on the ballot. You know, immigrants' rights are on the ballot, immigrants of all colors. LGBTQ rights, our trans brothers and sisters are on the ballot. Health, as we've all heard, is on the ballot. And so I hope everybody takes a real close look at that. And I agree with what people have been saying about being active in your community, because even do it for the folks who can't, right? If you can, because there are so many of us who are working 2 jobs or, you know, have a disability or some other reason that we can't be as involved. And so if you have the power, please use it, if not for yourself, for everyone else. And that's, you know, again, like to come back to our ally theme, I think that's partly what's so important, is to use our power on behalf so that we can help everyone who is struggling. So thank you again.
Thank you. Ms. Cooper? Closing remarks?
I'm gonna close with this. A man who sits in the most powerful seat, whatever words he says have power and they have consequence. So to say that it's just words is the silliest thing I have heard right now, especially when we look at federal judges right now, where there's 200 judges that got appointed right now. When we look at our Supreme Court and see that we have one of the most conservative courts in our nation's history. So this man's words, which you say are so idle, have also incited a ton of racial violence. It has empowered so many people to say and behave in crazy ways, right? So the fear I have is for my niece, for my nephew, for the ones that are behind me, to have to experience what my mother, father, grandfather did, right? So his words have so much influence. His words have had so much power, and his actions and who he's followed that with have been even worse. To have a Steve Miller in office, right? Like, you have to think about what the power of this man's words aligned by his actions have done. I'm not saying by any measure that America's, this post-racial society, because we aren't. We're acknowledging what's happened from Tulsa on. But to say that this man who sits in the White House is just saying words and his actions have not stirred up any contempt or stirred up things that are going to damage us for years to come, that are going to impact my niece and nephew, his words have had nothing but power behind them. And so whatever we could do, our responsibility right now is to get out there and to vote, period. And I'm saying vote Democratic. I'm saying vote for Biden. I'm saying vote this man out of office, because what he could do could have long-lasting effects on our nation, domestically and abroad. Done.
Ty, I thought I was the partisan.
Sorry, I'm done.
So I just want to say again, thank you all. I hope I wasn't too all over the place, but I really appreciate getting the opportunity to serve in this capacity, especially for my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I love you all so much. And I want to leave you with this, just a few thoughts. One, if it didn't matter, they wouldn't work so hard to keep you from doing it. To this day, they pass laws and do anything they can in order to keep you from voting. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I hope you make the right decision, but I am going to encourage everyone to vote. I've gone into the booth and voted, and they call it plunking. Well, I just vote for the people I want to vote for, and I don't vote for everybody. That's still voting. That still counts. So I want to encourage folks to vote regardless. Get into the habit of that's what I do, even if I don't like the people that I'm voting for, or if I just vote for the people that I like. You're still voting, and it matters. Now, would I prefer that you vote in this presidential appropriately? Of course. But it doesn't matter if you're not in the game. And it's important that we are participating in this process after Election Day. And with that, I don't know if the Soras want to have any final words.
I have a few. First of all, thank you to everybody for giving so much of your time. This is really amazing. First, thank you, Booth. First, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is a nonpartisan organization. So all the views expressed are not of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, but they are of our community, and that is important. And that is why, for everyone who I know my camera messed up earlier and froze when I was introducing this concept, but the reason why we have these barbershop talks and beauty salon talks, we used to be doing them in person, but now we're doing them virtual. And that's why we have these backgrounds, is because we know as a community, these conversations are happening anyway. And we wanted to have a diverse group of people bringing forth the conversation, right? Black people, brown people, all people are not a monolith. Our community is not a monolith. And so we want to have this conversation knowing that this election is coming up and that these are real things people are considering, whether it's to vote, to be undecided, to not vote on one line, but vote on another, to vote because of healthcare issues, to vote because of political issues, to vote because you had COVID, whatever it is. These are all something really important. And generally when we have these, we have very tangible things to do next. But frankly, the reality is that Delta, although nonpartisan, wants you to vote. Right? And so that is what we're asking you to do, is to vote now. If it really don't matter, why not vote? I love you, Booth. I do. I love you, Mr. Bell. But that's the Delta's position, right? Is if it doesn't really matter, why not vote? And at minimum to vote locally. The other action items are to continue to have these conversations and be respectful and loving and recognize that we can have them in this way. And then, of course, it is to text NJAC social action to 833-600-419. We'll drop it in the chat if you want to keep up to date when we're constantly having these conversations. And last, we're going to also drop in a survey. Please hit on that link. Please tell us what you think about this, because we want to know, should we be doing more of these conversations? What should they be about? Who do you want to hear from? I really can't thank you enough for giving so much of your time, every single person on here. It really means a lot. And we're going to turn it back over to the DJ because it is still Thursday and you can still have fun. But the panelists, if you would like to drop off, you can. I'm going to stand up and dance as DJ Sassy comes back on and blesses us with some more time. And thank you, Sora, T. Missy Valmere, for your expertise and love.
Thank you.
Vote. Period.
Give me Mr. Bell's phone number.
Okay.
We're not done.
Please send it to him. Please
okay.
do.
Please, no, in a good way. I mean, like in a good way. Because I know he a brother working. Yeah, I really would like to connect.
I will absolutely do that.
Actually, everybody's information, if possible, that'd be great.
Yes.
The organizer in me likes to keep in contact with the folks. Well, I'll need Ty and Bergson.
And if you all want to share, I'm sure there are probably many people who are still on. This event was sold out. Currently, we still have 35 people still on, so y'all are clearly still interested. So, you know, let's continue to do what we do, to have these conversations and get your hair done. Hey. All right.
Hey, Aaron and Missy, I
Yes,
just want to say thank you, Delta Sigma Theta, North Jersey Alumni Chapter, and your Social Action Committee. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
One question.
Yes,
Will there be a link for people to see it later? Because a lot of people tried to get it and it was sold out. So will there be a link for people to view it later?
We're going to work on that. I'm not tech savvy. That's not what I do, but I will see what we can do to make that available to everyone. If they're registered, we'll try to make it happen, and to all the panelists.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Look, speaking to everyone again. Hopefully we'll do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Feel free to stay on. Go ahead, DJ Sass.
Blessings.
Bless y'all.
Skin girl, your skin just like pearls, the best thing in the world. Never change it for anybody else in the world. Skin girl, your skin just like pearls, the best thing in the world. I never trade you for anybody else singing.
She said she really grew up poor like me. Don't believe in nothing but the Almighty. Just a little jeans and a pure whitey. She never did forever be nobody wifey. Yeah. She wanna make her pretty but your heart is a me. Play you like a villain cause she caught in a web. Tonight I am walking away. Line to my mind and I grind, yeah. Tonight I might fall in love, depending on how you love me. I'm glad that I'm calming down. Can't let no one come control me. Keep dancing and call love. She fights it by falling slowly. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told me. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. Your back against the world. I never tried you for anybody else. A brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. The best thing in all the world. I never tried you for anybody else. Pose like a trophy when Naomi's walking. She need an Oscar for that pretty dark skin. Pretty like Lupita when the camera's closing. Grip broke the levy when my killer's rolling. I think tonight she might pray her break. Melanin too dark to throw her shade. She minds her business and winds her waist. Boy, 24K. Okay. Tonight I might fall in love, depending on how you hold me. I'm glad that I'm calming down. Can't let no one come control me. Keep dancing and call it love. She fighting but falling slowly. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told me. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. Your back against the wall. I never tried you for anybody else. A brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. The best thing in all the world. I never tried you for anybody else. Oh, have you looked in the mirror lately? Wish you could trade eyes with me. Cause there's complexities in complexion, but your skin is glow like diamonds. Take me like the earth, you be giving back to everything alive, baby, know your worth. I love everything about you, from your nappy curls to every single carve your body natural. Same skin that was broken me, same skin taking over. Most things out of focus view, but when you're in the room, they notice you. Cause you're beautiful. Yeah, you're beautiful. Women, them gon' fall in love with you in all of your glory. Your skin is not only dark, it shines and it tells your story. Keep dancing, they can't control you. They watching, they all adore you. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told you. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. Your back against the wall. I never tried you for anybody else. Say brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. The best thing about the world. I never tried you for anybody else. Say skin girl, your skin just like pearls. Best thing in the world.
encouraging for anybody else singing.
You make me happy. This you can bear. You stay right beside me, yeah. And I won't forget. I really love you. You should know. I wanna make sure I'm right. Before I let go, now we had a good time that we can say we heard each other, yeah. And boy, it's a shame. I won't be foolish, no. I wanna make sure I'm right. So I let go.
It's the only way to go. That 1913 kind of flow. Reppin' the Crimson and Cream on the DJ scene. It's DJ Sassy.
You know I take that sunrises and shines on you. You know there's nothing I would not do. Before I let you go. Boots with the gold feathers. I brought the squad with me. Black on black bandanas. I say it's champagne. I did the damn thing. Birthday Diana, singing and dancing all in the rain. I just wanna have a good time. Turn around, get inside. Swirl yourself to the right now. Honey hop, drop. Cross your legs, turn around and shuffle to the left, let's slide now. Drop it down low. No, to the floor. Bring it up, tap and roll. Step on them, step on them, step on them, step on them, kick on them, something you step. Swag the right, serve to left, work the middle, till they hurt it a little.
Know what time it is. Radio. Know who this is. Danger! Danger! Get on the floor. The feeling right here. Sing it.
Been so long.
Sing it.
He's been on. So
get on the floor. The feeling right here.
What you wanna see?
Tell the DJ to put my heat on. I'm keeping the fellas and women and jumping from the minute I get on. Taking the shirt off, showing the tattoo, screaming and hollering it out. Got the gift to come up with it, put it together, deliver, make them feel it. Look, I've been home. Shine. Like they pull me out the thrift shop. Bang. Like that student in the principal office. The rappers are talking, they dive like dolphins. I'm the damn lyrical marvel, you don't come cross office. limousine in the club on. You trick you, late ain't no getting up in here, cause it's filling up inside back from the floor to the ceiling up. The building ain't big enough. I'm backstage bouncing, adrenaline building up. The nookie cutter that I stutter, the heart flutter, make a woman drop now like butter. Down like that, hype like that. The rhyme selling, take off like Jim Kelly. Stand up, bob, the boot up, the fire. Doesn't matter if they won't try it, bar, come on now. No sweat, no blood, no tears. And if I tell you it's a hit, that's just what it is.
Been so long.
Sing it.
He's been on.
Come on,
So
get on the floor.
show me
The feeling right here.
that you wanna see.
Sing it.
Been so long.
Sing it.
He's been on. So
Get on the floor.
show me
The feeling right here.
that you wanna see.
I won't see these fake rappers get off the mic. Get in my room, you grab my space, look out, you out of my life. Watch out, man. I rip on a solo. I jump for shove, the rest I no more. Throw lyrical bolos and headbutts and rhyme elbows. Get off me. Tiptoe out, slow ball softly. Hurry up, you might not be able to do that shortly. Ain't traffic, just a tiny whole crowd screaming out, danger, danger.
Been so long.
Sing it.
He's been on. So
Get on the floor.
show me
The feeling right here.
that you wanna see.
Sing it.
Been so long.
Sing it.
He's been on. So
Get on the floor.
show me
The feeling right here.
that you wanna see.
Sing it. Danger. Danger. Get on the floor. The feeling right here. Sing it. Danger. Danger. Get on the floor. The feeling right here.
I believe in money, power, and respect. First you get the money, then you get the power. As you get the power, then you get power. Key to life, money, power, respect. Eating life, money, power, respect. Eating right, money, power, respect. Sleep at night, see the light. Key to life, money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. Eating right, money, power, respect. Money, power, respect.
Yeah,
Money, power,
the whole
respect.
clique bout it. We take yours while you pout about it. Truck, step out, wanna crowd around it. You can see me on Optimum TV. I'm in the bathroom, turn the light out, scream, Bloody Mary. 1, 2, 3, chic ain't your usual friend. But I can set you up like Heisen and walk straight at the end. I'm done with icy chums. I'm trying to ice my whole cast when I'm gone. Pull up with class on the dawn. Once I meet him, I greet him. Kiss his feet for freedom. Tell him thank you, Lord. Cause on earth I was getting bored. Now resurrect me back to this cat or sheep. So I can make the sound and get back to cats that speak. 2:30, 6'2", me bunch for you, that's like a cat versus a pit bull. Gun, no flip bull, keep hunger and plan for the future. Cause you figure you gon' be older, way longer than you gon' be younger.
Key to life, money, power, respect. Eating life, money, power, respect. Eating right, money, power, respect. Sleep at night, you'll see the light. Key to life, money, power, eating life, money, power, respect. Eating right, money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. Key to life.
Only time to tell how to clock it. I really love hair, but I'm still a hostage. 2 personalities, check the posture. Smoke out the mouth, flare out the nostrils. Thinking death, the life seems scary. I pass the graveyard, seeing people here marry. I ain't chillin' till I'm out parachute and race my man in lounge climbing for about 10 diamonds. 25,000 a piece, forget streets. Trying to own the island, forget about wildin'. Try riding in the car that be gliding. If I showed you where I live, you would think I was hot as sling bricks. Chicks that don't speak English, wake up in Trinidad like touching them rich. Come back, private jet, line on set. You can spit gold, I can
Key to
spit
life,
forget.
power, respect. Eating life, money, power, respect. Eating right, money, power, respect. Sleep at night, you'll see the light. Key to life, money, power, respect. Eating life, money, power, respect. Eating right, money, power, respect. Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect.
Nothing but the hotness whenever we drop this. Monotonous for y'all to keep hating, cause y'all never gon' stop us. I keep my rock spotless and my girls topless. Take time, try to figure out who the lock is. Spare no one, kick rhymes like Shogun. You scared to blow one, get robbed with your own gun. If I don't respect you, I'ma check you. And if I don't kiss you, I'ma peck you. Right before I wet you, I sneeze on tracks and bless you. I'm special, and if you like working out, then I'm gon' stretch you. Hustling is dead, but we still get ready. To
favorite spots in the bakeries to get back bread. And y'all said my money spent, but it's in the pit. So when the feds come, the dogs can't get a sip. And my story's self-explanatory, that I'm the hottest thing on the street, and y'all ain't got nothing for it.
Key to life, £1 respect, eating life, £1 respect, eating right, £1 respect, sleep at night, don't see the light, keep it live, keep it live.
Call it how it is. Hendrix. I promise you, swear. That bitty. Yo, Percocet, yeah. Miley Percocet, Percocet, yeah. Miley Percocet, rep the set, yeah. Gotta rep the set, gang. Chase a chick, never chase no mask on. Get mask on, mask on, get mask on. Percocet, Miley Percocet, chase a chick, never chase no 2 cups, toast up with the gang. From food stamps to a whole nother domain. Out the bottom, yeah. I'm a living proof, so ain't compromising health. Million on the coupe, gang. Drug houses, looking like Peru. Graduated, I was overdue. I'm a pink money. I can barely move. Ask about me, I'm gon' bust a move. Yeah, y'all put Red James, 33 chains, 33. Ocean now, cruising Biscayne, big fire. Top off, yeah, that's a liability, big fire. Hit the gas, yeah, boosting my adrenaline, big fire. Percocet, yeah, Miley Percocet, big fire. Percocet, yeah, Miley Percocet, big fire.
1 2 1 2. Oh, 1 2 1 2.
1 2 1 2. Hey everybody, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to vote. Please don't forget to fill out the survey. I'm your girl, DJ Sassy, and you have been riding with the Social Action Committee of North Jersey Alumnae Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This will be the last song of the evening. Big shout out to Mr. Bell, I see you. This will be the last song of the evening. Be safe, social distance, wear a mask, and don't forget to vote.
Your girlfriend's favorite DJ Sassy.
Ain't no way. No, we come to play. We didn't come to play. No, rock the bank. We gon' rock the game. Again, they game, we game. But they are not the same. We been Percocet, yeah. Miley Percocet, big fine. Percocet, yeah. Miley Percocet, big fine. Rep the set, yeah. Gotta rep the set, gang. Chase a chick, never chase a big fine. Mask on, yeah. Get mask on, big fine. Mask on, yeah. Get mask on, big fine. Percocet, yeah. Miley Percocet, big fine. Chase a chick, yeah. Never chase a big fine. Mask on. Mask on, mask on, mask on, mask on, mask on, gas gun, never nod on.
It's the only way to go. In 1913, repping the crimson and cream on the DJ scene. It's DJ Sassy.